Can we do something a little different today? Instead of introducing a new topic, I want us to just pause. I want us to reflect because I think this series taught me lessons I never expected to learn. When I started this Becoming series, I thought I was simply preparing podcast episodes. I thought I was just, writing scripts, sharing ideas, starting a conversation. But somewhere between writing the scripts, recording the episodes, and even sharing them with you, I was slowly becoming the very person I was talking about. And I don't think I realized that until this week. Welcome back to Beyond the Degree podcast with Dorcas, a space where we explore the lessons that shape who we become beyond the classroom, beyond the certificate, and even beyond the degree itself. Today isn't really about a new lesson. It's about looking back at the journey we've taken together over the past few weeks. Because sometimes growth isn't found in the next thing you are chasing. Sometimes it is hidden in the lessons you have already lived. And today, I simply want us to reflect on what this journey has taught me. When I look back over the past few weeks, I realized this series wasn't just about creating content. It became a mirror. It became a model for me. Every episode challenged me. It made me ask myself difficult questions. Questions I probably wouldn't have asked if I wasn't sitting behind this microphone every week. In our first episode, we talked about showing up. We reminded ourselves that consistency is more powerful than motivation. The motivation comes and goes, but showing up even on the days you don't feel like it is what really shapes you. At the time, I thought I was encouraging someone else. But over the weeks, I realized something. Showing up doesn't just change your results, it changes you. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, every time you continue when nobody is clapping for you, every time you refuse to quit, you are becoming someone stronger than you were yesterday. Then we started talking about trusting the process. We talked about the invisible progress, the kind of growth that happens quietly, the kind of growth nobody applauds because nobody can see it. And honestly, that lesson became personal because life doesn't always reward you immediately. Sometimes you are doing all the right things and it feels like nothing is happening. But just because you can't see growth doesn't mean growth isn't happening. Sometimes the biggest transformation, I would say, takes place beneath the surface. In our last episode, we talked about comparison, how that comparison quietly steals our joy, our confidence, our identity, sometimes even our dreams. We talked about how easy it is to stop building your own life because you have become so busy watching someone else's life. I honestly thought that conversation ended when I finished recording the episode until something happened this week. No, that's last week. It happened last week. I'd stayed away from LinkedIn for a few days because of my exam. So when I finally logged back in, I noticed something. I now had 208 followers. Yeah. And honestly, I was happy. Not because the number was extraordinary, but because every single follower represented a person who had decided that my voice was worth listening to. Someone believed my content had value. Someone chose to connect with me. And that made me greatly grateful. So naturally, I kept scrolling. Then I came across someone I know, a social media manager, who was celebrating 2,600 followers. And something interesting happened. I smiled. I smiled. I was genuinely happy for her. The old me would have changed my mood completely. I would have started questioning my own progress, wondering if I was behind, wondering why my journey looked so small. But this time, I didn't compare. I didn't feel less of myself. I didn't even question my journey, surprisingly. I simply celebrated and returned to mine. I wasn't just talking about becoming, I was becoming myself. Because growth isn't always visible in what you have achieved. Sometimes growth is visible in how you respond to situations. The old version of me would have compared my journey with ours. But the version of me today chose gratitude instead. And that's when I realized something. Becoming isn't always about gaining more. Becoming is about needing less validation, needing less approval, needing less pressure to keep up with everyone else. Real growth is when someone's success no longer makes you question your own. That doesn't mean you have stopped dreaming. No. It doesn't mean you become comfortable where you are. It simply means you've become secure enough to celebrate someone else's journey without abandoning your own. And honestly, that's one of the greatest gifts this series has given me. It reminded me that my race is my race, my timing is my timing, my purpose is my purpose, and I don't have to borrow someone else's life to make mine meaningful. Before we bring this series to a close, I simply want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has listened, to everyone who shared these episodes, to everyone who has left a comment, to everyone who subscribed, to everyone who sent messages telling me how these conversations have encouraged them, and to every single one of the 208 people who decided to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you. You may think it's just a follow, but to me it is encouragement. It's a reminder to keep showing up, to keep learning, to keep serving, to even keep growing, to keep using my voice. I do not take it for granted. So, thank you for becoming with me. Because the truth is, this wasn't just your journey, it was mine too. And as we close this series, I don't want to leave you with another motivational quote. I simply want to leave you with one question. If someone met the version of you from a month ago and met the version of you today, would they notice a difference? Not necessarily in your salary, not necessarily in your grades or the number of people who follow you, but in your mindset, in your patience, in your character, in your confidence, in your reaction to situations. Because that is where becoming begins. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for allowing me into your ears, your thoughts, and hopefully your growth. And wherever you are on your own journey, do not stop. One day you will look back and realize that while you were busy chasing your dreams, God was quietly shaping you into the person those dreams required. So, until next time, keep showing up, keep trusting the process, keep choosing your own lane, keep growing, keep becoming. Because beyond the degree, life will always ask you deeper questions. Not what have you achieved, but who have you become? Thank you so much.